Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. Did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find it to be an electrifying Wednesday?
It was.
Really? I'm shocked to hear that.
Oh my, you are in fine form tonight.
Are there...
We think about the theme.
The theme, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you zap right into that?
Okay. There were 4 themed clues and a revealer. And then there were some circled squares throughout the puzzle, mostly in the middle part of the puzzle. And all of them had to do with a flash of light. For example, 18 across, photography option commonly represented by 37 across, which is the revealer. And that was camera flash. And then we had 23 across, NFL team whose helmet features a 37 across, and that was the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. And then we had 50 across, drink with a 37 across in its logo, and that was Gatorade. And then finally 56 across, character with a 37 across on his forehead, and that was Harry Potter. And if you know anything about any of those things, you know that they are talking about a lightning bolt. 37 across was what's formed by connecting the puzzle's circled letters from A to F and then back to A. And the answer to that was, of course, lightning bolt. And if you answered the puzzle correctly, the circled squares went A, B, C, D, E, and F. And if you actually drew a line from them, you would get a lightning bolt. But you didn't have to do that, because if you answer the puzzle correctly, a lightning bolt appeared with the lines going from those circled squares through the puzzle. A lightning bolt that actually flashes like a bolt of lightning. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was a very clever theme. And kind of fun. I didn't find the puzzle too hard, although I had a lot of trouble getting started. I didn't know a lot of the beginning clues at the top of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. But eventually I got it all filled in and got to see that lovely animation of the lightning bolt flashing across the puzzle.
What I think would have been awesome is if they had a clap of thunder at the same time. And they probably would have caused 100,000 crossword solvers to keel over in shock.
Probably.
When they discovered that their app can also do sound.
Uh-huh. Well, they could have just replaced the winning music that
there you go.
You always hear, the happy music.
They could have sort of an organ with a mm-hmm. That sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that lightning bolt is shaded yellow, mm-hmm. and it has exactly the same shade of yellow as those sticky notes we saw a few days ago when the teachers when we were grading the teachers' comments
essay, right? Yes, that was on Sunday.
And mm-hmm. I'm just thinking maybe they thought, well, we've got this leftover yellow paint, we should do something with it.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think that's how computer graphics work. Mm-hmm. I think they can always make more yellow when they need it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it was cute. Mm-hmm. Apparently, this idea of connecting circles in alphabetical order is an old idea.
Oh, and, really?
Yep, on xwordinfo.com, one of our favorite websites, they have a link to other puzzles that are sort of the same type. So anyway, I found that sort of interesting. Yeah. Listeners, you should check it out if you get a chance. I know what you mean about the top left, like one across RuPaul's Drag Race error. It's just like, I have no idea.
No, I didn't know.
Turned out to be MTV. I didn't know that MTV was around.
I didn't either.
That was a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Seems to still be going.
Mm-hmm. Fair point was touche. I like that.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And let's say ixnay was
Yeah.
vote against.
3 down. It was a long answer, and I thought, ixnay, well, that means nix, but so what could it be that was that long? But it was vote against.
Well, I had the second and third letters being OT, so I thought it has to be not something.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, even 14 across, I'm on vacation,
Right.
email and it's out of office, OOO.
Oh. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've never written OOO.
No, And I've never gotten an email that just said, oh, ta-ta. No, I just like, most people write out a better, I'm out of the office memo.
No, these people are so desperate to get out of the office, they don't have time for full sentences. They're just going to OOO.
Oh.
We had 15 across, high-end German car, casually Beamer.
Right.
I knew that one immediately.
Oh, I didn't.
That was the one. Well, I made up for it by not knowing 16 across, dwarf planet with the largest mass. I thought it started with an E, the second letter was an R, the fourth letter was an S. It had to be EROS.
Yes, I put in EROS.
I put in EROS and refused to give up on EROS, even though that meant that 12 down, blank the voice of the lobster, Lewis Carroll poem, instead of being Tis the voice of the lobster, became Tos the voice of the lobster.
Right.
And I thought it's some sort of weird poem. Maybe it's called Tos or Tos, the voice of the lobster.
Do you know where the dwarf planet ERIS is?
I'm assuming like in someone's bathtub. I mean, it's depending on how small it really is. No, I don't.
I don't.
I'm going to venture it's in outer space.
Well, yes, but maybe must not be in our solar system. But I just wondered where it might be.
But I didn't even really consider the downs. I was so convinced it's obviously EROS. And, I looked everywhere in the crossword. Another one of those, I now know every single answer because I've peered at it painstakingly. And then I eventually, it's like, well, nothing else is wrong. And then I looked at Two's the voice of the lobster. And I remember thinking before, that sounded weird. But I just thought, I'll just let it go. Two's the voice of the lobster. And then I thought, that can't be right.
No.
So
it wasn't.
Nope. And I think it took me probably 45 minutes to recognize that fact.
Right.
Although I did try other places. I did, 56 across. I always have trouble with this one.
That was Harry Potter.
I'm sorry, let me try that again. 56 down, sweetie. And I know it as hun. And I hear a U when I say that, when I a short U. So I had HUN, which meant that 61 across.
I'm glad you never call me hun then.
Well, it's also, the name of people who might be invading and pillaging and all the rest of it.
I don't want to be associated with them.
But 61 across was the sound gasp. And so I thought, I had no, but that would be something if you were like declining something. No.
Right, or not sure about it.
Right.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Well, usually they use it. It seems to me they use it in the clues when they want to indicate that they've considered and then quickly rejected something. No.
Right.
But in this case, it was oh no, which makes more sense for a gasp.
Right.
And so, anywho, that was. Those were my two pain points in the bottom left and the top right.
I see. I noticed we had 29 across, arm of the Mediterranean, which was Aegean.
Yes.
And yesterday we had Aegis.
Yep.
Aegis. Yes, the shield of, I forgot, Athena?
Athena, yes.
Yes.
I was about to say the shield of Medusa.
No, but Medusa is on the shield, right?
Well, there's someone with some very suspicious-looking hair.
Yeah, I think, it's Medusa is on the shield.
She put Medusa on the shield? Mm-hmm. Okay. So she could just, turn everyone to stone?
Well, it wasn't the real Medusa, but... Yeah.
Well, that's a relief. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what else was... 9 down. 9 down, surfer dude was Brah, B-R-A-H.
I know.
And if, 18 across being camera flash, I briefly considered camera flash because I was sure it wasn't going to be bra. It was going to be like bro.
Yeah.
but apparently it's bra. Don't think I'm pronouncing that right.
I thought it was dog, DAWG.
Oh, nice.
Surfer dog, but no, it was bra.
Yeah, you needed You needed that P for 4 across. Self-assurance was a plum.
A plum.
And speaking of P's, 5 down, bird with a showy mate. I thought, it's got to be a peacock, but it was a peahen.
Yes, well, that's the female. The peacock is the male.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't go by the same name?
Well, I guess
Like,
not.
I mean, dog and...
Well, I mean, a hen that, infers female.
Okay, so now you're into in-depth agricultural concepts. You've totally lost me at this point. We had...
And six down, Madagascar mammal, lemur.
Lemur.
Lemur?
Lemur. Mm-hmm.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Certainly in Madagascar. All my Madagascarian friends pronounce it lemur. I don't know if we have anyone listening from Madagascar. That would be exceptionally cool if they wrote in.
Yes.
Please do. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com, including a recording. Not that we want to make this hard, but include a recording of how you pronounce lemur.
Okay.
We'll see if anyone responds to that. Let's see. There was another clue here, which I just totally lost.
No.
I know. Let me see here if I can find it. It was 64 across. 64 across being, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly, tikka masala go with, naan.
That's right.
And almost always, listeners, you should know when they talk about Indian bread, they're talking about either naan or roti. But the other day they had puri, which I guess is a fried bread.
Oh.
But so we went back to sort of our standard Indian breads, and I don't know how many times naan has appeared in the New York Times crossword, but I will tell you that just inspired another game that I think we ought to start playing. Guess the number. Guess how many times a particular clue has appeared in the New York Times crossword. Naan has only appeared 63 times?
Wow.
That can't be right.
But look where they are. They started, in earnest around, 2008 or so.
There was one in 1979. I'm presuming that was a typo. And then from 2005, you're right, they really just sort of took off.
Yeah, like in 2000, how many is that? 8 times? That tall line there?
Oh, I mean 2020.
2020, yeah.
2020 was 8.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a huge number.
No, but that's, that's not quite once a month. But.
So apparently somebody, when making their crossword word lists, discovered naan. It's just like, look, 2 A's next to each other.
And
this is crossword
N's.
Gold.
What about roti? How many times is that shown up?
I think we might have considered this before. Roti, 127.
Yeah.
Roti clobbers naan. So I'm going to be cheering for naan from now on. And as far as puri is concerned, puri has appeared once.
Yes.
Poor puri.
Just the other day, yeah.
I like that as a phrase, poor puri. It's a pretty poor pun there. But have you ever had puri?
No.
I presume you've had lots of either naan or roti.
Yes.
I can't tell you which I've had, though.
Well, it's usually on the menu as naan, right?
Well, I mean, based on the number of times it appears in the crossword, it ought to be roti.
I remember once we made naan.
Really?
Our daughter and myself.
Ah, okay.
We made naan and we had curry. We made curry meal.
Wow.
And yeah, it was great.
Excellent.
It's not hard to make, but it takes time.
Right. That's why I always head to the grocery store when these things are involved.
I don't know if you can buy naan in... maybe you can. Maybe some of the grocery stores that have a bigger
Selection.
Ethnic food selection might have naan. Yep.
We had 47 down. We've seen this a couple of times. Naval engineer, CB.
Yes.
Spelled Seabee.
Yes.
I sort of like that one there. And then we had, let's see, 63 across, drink aptly found within social event was ale.
Right.
But that was sort of cute.
Yes, that was clever.
Yeah, the whole crossword just sort of reeks of clever. I mean, it was really quite good. Oh, one that I really wanted to ask about, 21 down, coat as with flour, dredge.
Yes.
When I hear the word dredge, I think about heavy machinery in the middle of a river digging stuff up.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Don't you? I mean, you're familiar with that definition of dredge, right? When they dredge a river, they make it deeper.
Oh, no. I just know it as when you coat something with flour.
Ah, so between the two of us, we have all definitions of dredge covered.
No, I've heard of the other dredge too, but when I see the word dredge or think of it, I think of it in the kitchen.
Yeah, I never had heard of this, and I looked at every single cross as I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my crossword, and I thought every single one of these has to be right. It must be dredge.
Oh, no, that's correct.
Okay.
So, but I mean, typically, you dredge meat. Like
I don't. I mean,
like,
to me,
that's how you make chicken McNuggets, right? You dredge them in flour and then deep fry them, and so since you are a vegetarian, you haven't had too many dredged.
I just assume that McDonald's heads out to the middle of a river with a steam shovel and starts scooping up the McNuggets.
Right. But I mean, you can dredge vegetables too, but typically I think of it as dredging meat like to make a cutlet or something like that.
So that just means to sprinkle something on top of it.
No.
What?
You actually, have like a little bowl of flour and you put it in the flour.
Yeah, it says coat is with flour, so you are covering it with something.
Yeah, but you're not sprinkling it on top. You're actually dipping it into the flour and getting a good heavy coat of flour on that. So then when you fry it, it gets nice and crispy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will bear that in mind. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that is it for today, I think. So thanks, everyone, for listening. We hope you're enjoying these podcasts. Let us know. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com. That is it for today. We will be back again with our patented cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword, and we will be doing that tomorrow.
Bye-bye.